know people around here probably been freaking out because they lost 4 games in the league, but still got a Hall of Fame coach, still got a really, really good, probably first-team All-American type player, and they still got one of the best home courts in all of America. So, hats off to Kansas for finding their way after a tough loss on I guess it was Tuesday. But I'm proud of our kids. We competed. We just didn't have enough to stave off that run that they made in the second half. That's part of what makes this league, as good as it is part of what makes this place a hard place to play, because those things can come pretty quickly. So we got to figure it out. We're getting better. I'm sure for some of you guys who've not seen us very often this year, look at our record and think, man, that team maybe shouldn't be in the Big 12 this year. But we are improving, and I'm proud of that. We'll continue to work. Whatever the thing is that people have that make them quit, I don't possess it. So what we'll do is we'll keep working, we'll keep fighting, and keep trying to compete. And eventually, we'll have a breakthrough, and our guys won't look back.
Mike, Isaac said that lapse there in the middle of the second half was more mental than anything. Would you agree with that?
I mean, it seemed that way. Obviously, they made several threes in a row. I don't know exactly what the breakdowns were. Obviously, we were playing a little bit of zone. It's kind of become a thing that teams who haven't shot the ball well coming into our game all of a sudden find that magic touch, and the ball just goes in the basket more. But again, they've got really good players, so it probably was. But we'll have to go back and really look at the film to know exactly what happened.
What was your message like to the guys after this game? How did you still kind of keep them motivated?
I told them what I just told you. I know right now it's tough. No one likes losing, and our kids obviously still compete very hard. They give great effort. We're capable of being right there. We've got to eliminate whatever those 3 to 4 minute stretches that we've had in almost every game that really has hurt us. But at the same time, I mean, we'll show up Wednesday to play a game against another really good Big 12 team, and they're not going to care how we feel or what happened to us today or what happened Wednesday. If we're not ready to play, we'll continue to not feel good after games. And so they need to start thinking like me. There's no give in. You just keep holding on to the rope. You keep standing there. Sometimes you take some body shots and they hurt, but you try to get your swings in as much as you can also while you're fighting, and eventually you'll get the better of the other team.
What do you think it is about playing in the OSU that lights a fire in Cameron and Britt?
I don't know. I mean, I can't answer for him. I'd like to think that as a junior and a captain for us who's played a lot, it doesn't take a venue to get him going. But usually, it's pretty natural that guys play well in great environments. Really good players tend to do that. So I'm not surprised. I don't know exactly if it has anything to do with it, but certainly a lot of eyes on you. It's a big time place.
What did you make of the role that Mitch Lightfoot played for Kansas today, and how big he was in the outcome?
He's phenomenal. I mean, he did what you do when you put on that uniform. When your opportunity comes, you make sure you're ready, and you do whatever it is that your team needs on that day. And today it was just bringing energy, even in the sense of not giving up a layup, right? And the crowd fed off that, his teammates. It's a really, really small thing, and it actually, in some ways, it's a negative, right? It's a foul. The other team gets to shoot free throws. It's not a dunk. It's not 2 points guaranteed. And it sends a message that, this is what we stand for. So there's been a lot of guys like him. I know we talk about all the Hall of Famers and Will and Paul Pierce. There's been a lot of guys like Mitch Lightfoot come here and help those teams hang those banners as well.
Obviously, Mike, you had 3 guys who have been here before, but how did you feel like Isaac and Yor handled today?
It's funny. I talked to the TV guys before the game, and they asked me about Yor coming home and playing here, and I told them I'm going to throw him the ball the first possession of the game, and I think he's probably going to kick it into the stands. And he didn't quite kick it into the stands, but he looked pretty nervous out there to start. But he settled in. Again, I'm watching his evolution, and I feel really good about the future with those 2 guys. I think they'll continue to get better. I was very pleased with the way they played. We didn't play great. They made a lot of mistakes like we always do, but they weren't overwhelmed by the environment.
Lindy spent a lot of time with the trainers pregame. Were you even this morning, not sure how much you were going to have from him, or did you feel pretty good about it?
Yeah, I mean, you were there. He didn't practice much yesterday. Just add it to the list, man. I don't worry about it. Whoever's available will play. I just kind of is what it is, and we'll try to do as a staff everything we can to protect them from hurting themselves further, and then whoever's available, we'll try to put ourselves in position to try to win.
Is Duncan just kind of in the same situation?
He's better. He might have been a little bit overwhelmed today by the environment. He made a big play, went to the glass. So I mean, from an injury standpoint, he's better than Lindy is right now, but probably not quite ready for today. More than just an injury standpoint.
What exactly is Lindy's injury? Or is it his left knee?
He's got some tendonitis. I mean, it's not anything major. It's 23 games into a college basketball season. It's aches here and there, and it flared up on him after the game. Well, right before the game at TCU, and wasn't necessarily better on Thursday. It was a little bit better yesterday, and he continues to get treatment. He takes care of his body as best he can. But it's when you play, what he's been playing the last 3 weeks, that happens. And we're asking a lot of him, and he's giving us everything he has.
You mentioned at the beginning the trend of some teams being able to shoot kind of above their average from three-point range against you guys. Have you been able to put your finger on why that's happening?
No, I've really not tried to focus on that. It actually started with Baylor. Baylor came into our game. I think they were 330th in the country in threes. And then they started with us. They shot like 75% from three for the next 3.5 weeks. And then obviously, it continued on. K-State shot really well from three against us. TCU opened the game and made 9 threes in the first half. So I don't know exactly what it is. Obviously, we are playing a lot more zone. I mean, that's a product of that. So we're not pressuring and taking away those shots as much. But we got to do a better job of contesting and getting there earlier on the catch.
You guys were close the other night at TCU. You went into the half tied here. Is it getting harder to keep your guys' heads up, or can they see that you guys are getting better?
I don't buy into that. With competitors, there's no such thing. If their heads are down and they don't feel like they can play, I would advise them not to show up to practice. In our program, when you show up, you're going to do your job at a high level every single day. And you're going to compete to try to win, because it's not about you. It's not about how you feel. It's not about how I feel. We don't represent just ourselves. We represent a lot of people out there who expect to see a certain level of effort. And eventually they expect us to win some games too, but for right now, the effort must continue to be there.